Welcome back, Overwatch fans, to another amazing night.
We have a fantastic match tonight, no question about it.
Oh my god, yes!
Put the barrage! Make sure they can't even follow up afterwards.
And Watch has found 2 in this fight thus far. Make that 3, make that 4 right now here. Dynamic team gets a 4-man tire!
Those who find the picks will save the fights, and they don't really need to save what they've already won.
100 gets 3! Wins the Primal Rage!
Experience tranquility.
Welcome, folks, to the Tranquility Gaming Twitch channel. It is I, Toasty, joined here, of course, by the one and only Booth, and we are going to be bringing you the EU Harmony Tier Stage 2 Week 1 game. It is going to be Pay to Win versus Apollo, 2 teams that went pretty dominant over in Stage 1.
Yeah, both went very dominant. Both now after the fix-up with EU Scrimbucks, sitting at 5-0. Apollo dropped 2 maps, I believe, the whole time. Besides the Scrimbucks game, I believe Paid to Win only dropped a couple as well. So both teams here in Group A guaranteed themselves the playoff seedings. I will break down here in a little bit how the structure works, because anyone on the EU side might be a little unique here how the stage structure kind of works. But yeah, Toasty, both of these 2 teams doing a very good job.
Yep, absolutely, and I mean, there's going to be a lot of gameplay today because, as you informed me just a moment ago, it is actually going to be a 4-map, game here. It's going to be like Overwatch League Season 1 way back when. I remember when that was a thing, and I used to support the Houston Outlaws, God. The times.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, trust me, I swapped to Shock real fast in Season 2. Jumped on the bandwagon, but yeah, it's going to go right back to that format where we have the 4 games, just for differential, because of course we are playing, these teams are playing, we're not playing. These teams are playing for seeding, going into the playoffs. Of course, they are guaranteed to get there, but it's about where you're placed, right?
Exactly. So the Group A here, how this is going to work, it's similar to how our other tiers have worked, but of course we're working with a 10-team structure now. So the EU Harmony tier is broken into 3 groups. We have Group A, Group B, and the elimination group. Sometimes it's referred to as Group C. The A and B groups have already qualified for the playoffs. Basically, how you finish now is going to determine your seeding. The first and second place in Group A will get the corresponding first and second in playoffs. The third and fourth place in Group A will get fifth and sixth. Then third and fourth in the playoffs will be the winners of Group B. The bottom 2 in Group B will get 7th and 8th. And then 2 teams will be eliminated from the elimination group. There are 4 teams there. Excuse me. We have 12 teams in total, not 10. And the top 2 teams of the elimination group will move on. The bottom 2 will get eliminated. So a little confusing, but the top 10 teams moving on to the playoffs. Our 4 here and our 2 tonight have already got themselves that seeding, though.
Yeah, absolutely. So guaranteed playoffs for both of these teams means that you can relax a little bit. I wouldn't say you can relax too much, because you don't want to be stuck in 6th seed. You don't want to have to go against that top seed, because that can always be a very scary prospect, especially if it's in the same group as you. Say, Apollo was to go down to like 6th seed or whatever, and then Pay to Win becomes 1st seed. Like, that would be a scary prospect if Pay to Win were to win today, because then Apollo already have played against them before. Kind of booms your mental a little bit, knowing you've lost to a team before. But I'm just throwing around predictions right now already. Like, I don't know if Pay to Win's going to win today. Who knows? Because I've never seen either of these teams. I know you know a lot about them, though, don't you, Booth?
Yeah, I know a little bit more. I guess when you're in the admin chats, you hear some whispers every now and then of the teams. I mean, I think everybody at least knows Yoshi on the Apollo side, EUNA side across. A pretty well-known figure here. Jansen and Tank here on Pay to Win, also being known here. I believe was Stay on their DPS, or was it Matrix, their other DPS player, both well-known. We have 6-man rosters on each side here, so we'll have 12 players in all night. All day if you're on my side of the lake here. But Yeah, paid to win about 2504, so just about 120 SR lower than Apollo, and some of the lower really in the Harmony tier in total.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe Harmony tier is like, gold to low diamond level, I think. So
Yeah, you depending on your peak, you can fall back if you're on an off roll. The SR range is basically 2K to 3K, with that average sitting at I think just around 2650 if I remember off the top of my head. I probably should know that because I'm one of the people that look into that. It's kind of crazy how a lot of the admins know this way better than me. And yeah, 2650, and all I do is focus on making sure we have some casters and producers around. But all right, there we go. I think we're just about getting ready to get into the lobby here. We're gonna have our first matchup here in stage 2, our 2 Group A teams going on. Historically, though, in the playoffs in Tranquility Past, our 5 and 6 seeds end up being normally some of the best performing and make it through towards the end. So that'd be our 3rd and 4th place winners here in Group A. So even a loss tonight, although maybe not giving them that 1st or 2nd place playoff seeding, still can set them up pretty well. You kind of get that dark horse kind of a spot when you come in that 6th role. So, and it's kind of also nice. I like the stage format. You're playing against the teams you're probably going to be playing against once you get deeper into the playoffs. In these group formats, you're playing against some of the like teams here, so should be expecting some really close matches. I know we had a lot of 4-0s in our first groupings of the Harmony tier for the EU side this season, but our hope now for the teams is that we'll start to get some pretty close matchups as they've now been grouped with some of the other top performers.
Yeah, absolutely, and we do have some familiar names on both sides here. If you tuned into the event week, the EU rendition of said event week, Gadrin and Drini, a good force to be fair in the 2v2s, and then of course Yoshi as well on that support. Won the Widowmaker 1v1, so Yoshi definitely a player to look out for here as the engage comes through from Pay to Win, trying to get in there, but Dragon Prince can't be sustained quite long enough into the discorded volley of Yoshi. And Gadgen's just trying to force away the Pharah, force away the Mercy, and make sure they can get over to this point carefully enough. There's the Wrecking Ball Pal Drive coming in, and the Tracer is in the back line to try and force them away. And there's the pincer onto Hungry. They get taken down, but at least you trade it out for the Sigma here. And a brilliant res from Hellboy to make sure the Pay to Win can stay in this fight. But they need to approach towards the point, because it has gone into the favor of Apollo.
Yeah, once you lose the Sigma there, not going to be easy. You can't res them off the boop. And as soon as they lose that shield too, that kind of lets your McCree kind of just get shot on there by the fire, as you saw happen. So now they're going to have, Pay to Win's going to have the point available to themselves here. And they're going to be able to set up. They're going to be able to choose where they want to initiate. And I like this forward positioning from Matrix. Already getting pretty close to that barrage. You're going to have the Pulse Bomb from Stay as well. Maybe looking to try to get a stick there. Possibly on Yoshi. We see Drini switching over to the Mercy now. They're going off of that Brigida. But maybe trying to pocket Gardner here a little bit.
Yep. Power Drive comes in there from Mystic to try and set something up. Hellboy actually gets taken down because of it. Great shot from Gadrin across the map, and Shagadelic on the sidelines trying to get a kill. But actually, they're going to be one to fall instead as Hungry takes him out. Stay with the Pulse Bomb fells Staple. He will get rezzed up, and a Nano Boost is invested here onto the Monkey to try and get something done. The Transcendence in response though from Yoshi makes sure that Gadrin can safely get in on the sideline and flash up the Monkey, but they are going to use a Primal Rage and just bat Gadrin around into the walls of Nepal Sanctum. And there we have it. I think this is pretty much a done deal here for Pay to Win in this team fight.
Yeah, it sure is. Gonna have to reset here now. I mean, we're gonna be coming into 60% here, so not tons of time left for our team. They're going to have one good initiation here left. If they're quick, they might be able to get a second, but it's probably not going to be as clean of a fight. So they're going to have to open up with the ults here. They really don't have tons, though. If you're looking across, it's going to be about 2 ults on each side here. The Gravitic Flux has got to be used. There's not really tons of sustain on the side of Pay to Win to deal with that. So if Staple's able to pick up a few here, maybe even just picking up Hungry in the back, because that's really going to be their probably main target here. So much movement speed on the rest, but they got to be careful of the barrage coming in first.
Yeah, if this Sigma goes down, it could be tragic, and indeed it is. The Sigma falls, no flux to be had here, and Matrix just lets loose the barrage, takes down 2 with it, make it a 3rd, why not? Wow. And I think that's pretty much it here for Pay to Win, taking the tempo in that last team fight to make sure there was no touch. And even though the Tracer does get here, it probably won't be enough. Shagadelic will just end up stalling the inevitable death out, really. And there we go, 100-12 will be what it is there in the first round. Very nice stuff from Pay to Win.
Yeah, it seems like Apollo just wasn't able to get off their ultimates and really rotate in the ways that they kind of wanted there. I think everybody just about got one ultimate off, or at least had one charged up. I don't know if they used the Flux there at the end, but swapping around that Flex support to that Mercy early on, might have just helped them reset a little differently here. But now we're going to come into Village, everyone's favorite. We'll see the Symmetras off on both sides here. Really looking at Pay to Win's comp, you might expect them to stay on it a little longer. We see we do see the Mei right now. We don't see that yet on the side. That'll be the biggest change.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Stay will go back and change to the Mei. I would certainly love for them to, because, of course, I'm a Mei connoisseur myself. I'd literally only play Mei on DPS, so I want to see Gadron come up big with some walls here, see what they can get done, as they will be approaching towards the point first. Making sure they get this defensive Symmetra positioning is really important for Shagadelic here, because they can set up the turrets, they can force Dragon Prince to focus on those, while the Reinhardt just goes mad in the front line. But that being said, Mystic already being forced so far back, the shield almost goes down for both Reinhardts. It's getting scrappy out here. Mystic just trying to back up and try and keep themselves alive. But Dragon Prince gets in there, takes them down. This is the opportunity now, the go signal for Pay to Win to start cleaning up on the rest of them, and they're going to do just that.
It was that bubble from Jansen that really let Dragon Prince go forward and kind of get through some of that burst that Apollo was preparing for them. At first, it seemed like Staple was on the right pick there with the D.Va. He did enough fire strikes to kind of let them hold the point. But really, that bubble let him push forward. They're already getting pretty high up there towards that Graviton Surge, 70% now. They're going to be also, look at that, Hungry already with the window. Not enough here on Apollo to match yet. So we'll see. We already have the switch off the Symmetra over to the McCree there for Shagadelic. So they're able to hold here on the high ground now and not be afraid of them TPing to point.
Yeah. Here's where the D.Va becomes useful, though, because this Amp Matrix can be kited and denied by that Matrix, as the Reinhardt is going to probably approach around the left side here. Pay to Win, rotating back, making sure they don't have to deal with any of those shenanigans. And now they're going to start to play aggressive, getting the flash onto the Reinhardt of Mystic, but no kill actually converted there, as somehow Gadron kills off Stay, and is going to use that Blizzard completely freely. No D.Va to eat that up, and the Shatter is let loose by a Mystic, sending three of them down to the ground and getting that cleanup alongside their squad.
Yeah, it seems like the Shatter was going to be their, what they determined at their condition for that fight. Didn't want to invest much more of that. Hungry's already a third of a way back up again. So they're going to have some abilities to open up with here. They'll have that wall, which is going to be really nice to give Jansen a chance going in. It's going to be up to Staple, though, to either try to eat this or Drini to be able to help catch their team. But they're going to have to be pretty careful. A couple of
What a wall. That's beautiful, but it will
ammo,
end up... Yeah, it gets Immortality'd up there. Brilliant timing coming through, as that is a yeet of a grab from this Jansen on the Zarya. It doesn't actually catch too much because of that beat from Drini. Brilliant timing on that to make sure the team is sustained, and Salubrious, as that'll be a team wipe coming through. And Apollo, that was a pretty good team fight they took there.
Oh, very good. I mean, just that wall was enough to cause a couple of big ult investments. They lost the grab there. And they're going to be able to rotate alongside the Zarya here, too. Always a nice part when you're on the support. You know that the grab's out, you're going to be able to charge yours up in time. So they'll have the Shatter and they'll have the Noon to deal with this. They still have the wall on Pay to Win to initiate with here. Look, okay, going to TP to points, and they got to pop this pretty quick here.
Well, High Noon Amp Matrix combo can be pretty deadly, especially if you use it onto that D.Va, getting rid of that Matrix, allowing them to just sit here on the point and allow Apollo to come to them. A flying from Matrix to try and take down Mystic on the Reinhardt, but they stay alive just barely. Shagadelic did invest that High Noon, didn't gain too much out of it, but Mystic perhaps looking to position for a Shatter. They hit it into the wall, though, and the pin into the backline here from Dragon Prince. The beat keeps them alive, and they have a Shatter of their own if they want to enact an MTD, but God knows they don't need it, as that will be the kill from Hungry onto that Reinhardt, and now we're getting into one-fight territory.
Yeah, just enough time for them to push back in. They don't have the Symmetra, so they're not going to be able to TP in. It's going to be real close for them really to even to touch, right? I mean, they're going to have to try to just touch you with the Lucio if they can. And when they do, they're going to be coming straight into a Shatter.
Yep, exactly. Those Shatters can be deadly, and Dragon Prince, I have full trust in them. They'll be able to make something out of it. There's the Shatter coming through. Dragon Prince catching Drini and slamming a couple more down. It will end up falling for that, but as long as Jansen stays alive and gets this grab online, they win the team fight here. But they're going to do that anyway, because of the damage from Stay. So much of that coming through. No shield to inhibit it, as they get a 3k towards the end. The OT burns down, and that's the first map going to Pay to Win.
There it is, looking very strong there. Just seeming like once they are able to get situated on point, hard to really push through with that Zarya there. A good choice there on the comp swap. Normally you're seeing the D.Va. And we're going to see the fire play there from Matrix getting play of the game. And we just saw how they got set up early here. They really dictated play on both points here. I really liked this composition they were running, and it seems like they were just forcing Apollo to play their own game. And, you know, at the end of that was really, I think, the difference maker. They just were rotating their own ults. Apollo didn't react well enough yet. The comps maybe needed to be swapped a little earlier, but they're going to have to switch things around here as we get ready to go into the assault map here. Sometimes we see teams performing a little better on control if there's maybe a little like thrive better under chaos, you know, a little more going in and out here when you get to the assault maps, a little more beginning and end the fights instead of, you know, trying to just come across the point.
Yeah. Absolutely, and one thing to mention here, if we are going to 2CP, well, there's actually two things to mention. One, that's getting deleted in Overwatch 2, so thank bloody God. But secondly, it's quite similar to Control, honestly. Sure, you have this main choke you have to push through instead of fighting over a contested point, but the general concept of that point control, of rotations centraling around it, are going to be the same, so potentially Pay to Win could gain an advantage off that, depending on what 2CP map is played. Apollo probably going to try and pick around their own strengths, and yeah, Anubis comes through, not wanting to tend towards the Brawl, which they just got not dominated on, but beaten on.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, if we think like how well Pay to Win did on that dive comp, you know, maybe they're going to go straight back there with that Winston on that first point attack. They're going to be on a defense this first time around, so we'll have to see if they're going to run double shield here, as you'd expect from most teams. And the new heroes across the side there. Well, we saw that a Hammond open up, I believe, on that first point of Nepal there from Apollo. Maybe they're going to go for that. Maybe we just see the Rein Zarya out of our sides. But all right, there we go. Now that we're seeing our rosters open up here, we do see that double shield. The Matrix going to be on the Widowmaker. The Widow Junkrat seems to be the only place in Overwatch where this DPS comp can get a little bit of value. Not something you normally see too much, but, you know, I've seen it work a few times here on Temple of Anubis, at least. I don't know what it is about Anubis and that DPS comp, but this it seems to be a favorite for some teams.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame them. You've got this long angle. If you play up on the treehouse as Widowmaker, basically covers the entirety of main. You can cover some flanks. There's a good few escape routes for you there. And then you got the Junkrat, which just deals with the choke problem entirely. So much damage can come through from that.
Yeah, it's going to be up to see how Shagadelic, if they can put enough pressure onto Jansen and Hellboy here, whoever's going to be sitting behind the shield. They're going to have to force them to make Dragon Prince retract that shield to not protect the Widowmaker because of too much pressure applied forward, but we'll see how their attacks open up here.
Well, Power Drive comes in the backline onto Matrix, as well as a Tracer dive, so very well constructed coming through there from Apollo, bursting down the Widow. Hellboy falls because that distracts the side of Pay to Win enough that the D.Va just gets in there, deals the damage, and Gadrin going absolutely ham now. They have no contest for it at 3k, as we just watched the Sigma unfortunately falling. And that was a pretty quick take there for Apollo. This seems to be their bread and butter.
Yeah, look at that. My goodness. Going to be 3 minutes and about, what, 5-10 seconds left on the clock here. They're going to have almost a whole 6 minutes. 6 minutes and 9 seconds. Almost very nice of a time bank there. That is unheard of on 2C, on 2CP. That's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the snowball potential here is insane as well. If Yoshi takes their time, builds up the nano, you can nano Gadrin, you can get that barrage through. So much sustained value can come through from this Pharah. The one thing to prevent that should be Stay here on the Sombra, though. So we need to be wary of that and make sure the Gadrin doesn't get hacked up. Stay playing pretty defensively, though, in the backline. Gonna hack up the Wrecking Ball. Pulled in and bursted down. Now it's gonna be the barrage into the backline, though. The Immortality Field delays the death of their teammates. They will end up getting destroyed, but the Pharah falls for it, and I don't think there's gonna be too much coming from this push from Apollo. They are going to invest the Pulse Bomb and the Valk, though, to try and make it work, as that Bongo is used from Pay to Win. It will help deal some more damage, and yeah, it gets a cleanup onto the tank line. I don't think you can really win this team fight without your tank line here, unless you've got a Battle Mercy in the back line. They kill off Hungary, and there's potentially some opportunity now to win for Apollo, because the back line has completely fallen, and the Pharah has returned. They can put in the damage, take down Stay, and it's all about the stall here now.
It is, my goodness. I mean, they took out the Sombra before they could use EMP, and oh, they took out the Sigma there as well. A couple of key ultimates not online. That should have even been a tick here for Paid to Win. They should have been holding all of that, but look at this great job from Apollo already.
Oh, and the
Spawn
Spawn
Cam. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Denying the touch. What a play from Mystic there. I'd love to see it.
Oh, wow. I mean, if there's ever ultimate to win you the point there, to stall out a bit, you would think it would be Gravitic Flux and EMP there, and neither able to go up. That was insane. Amazing job there from Apollo to take that. That set him 4 minutes and 40 seconds. I mean, that's just so daunting if you're Paid to Win looking at that to start your attack.
Yeah, finishing with more time than you started with is never a good sign for the opposing team on 2CP. It's actually one of the reasons I think it's getting removed, is that time banks like these can just make this map, any 2CP map really, last 10, 20, 30 minutes. So I think definitely that's why it's getting removed from the game, is just the length of these games, the absolute girth on them. But we'll see now an Orisa Sigma swap from Apollo, so changing things up, going away from the ball composition, which it looks so great on. I'm surprised about that.
Yeah, I am too, honestly. We'll have to see how the swap up here goes. I mean, the double bubble makes a little bit of sense here coming out on the attack. We saw them doing pretty well with that Ryan Zarya on Village, so expecting Jansen to keep up some of the attack here. They're going to be relying on those packs from Hellboy to keep Stay alive in the air. But a lot of pressure going to be on them here, as they're going to have the turret to deal with, and they're going to have probably a pocketed Ashe. But look how close they're bunkered up here. Normally, we think we'd have that Ashe up on high ground, but they're going to be sticking close.
Yep, and that's probably why they want to coach gun the Winston away. Didn't quite work in that situation, but really, this is the only boop you've got other than the accretions. So really got to play close with your Ashe here and make sure you can peel for these dives, because the point here is that Hungary needs to build up this nano boost. That is literally the win condition at double bubble. So the Monkey's going to go in, out, and apparently buy a lot of space and time here, because look at that. They force the Ashe away, and now they have an opportunity to really hard commit as soon as they get this nano boost.
Yeah, you know, Dragon, he'll just taking up that damage, as you said, so they're already going to have the nano boost to really initiate with here. And Matrix getting close to that Dragon as well.
Yeah, Dragon going down dangerously low there, but it's all to build up this nano boost, and now they have it online. That's probably going to be the go signal for them to get onto the point, blitz onto it. But Dragon Prince needs to not fall before that happens. Where's the nano boost, Hungary? Who did you put the nano onto? I have no idea, but
I don't know.
Either way, wasn't onto the Monkey, that's for sure, as the kills come through thick and fast here for Apollo. And what an extended team fight that, again, like, it's an Orisa Sigma competition. Those extended team fights are going to benefit it.
Always, you know, when you're going to have so much shield uptime on that Orisa, and now they're going to have ultimates available. I mean, they use the res there on Shagadelic, so they'll be set up. They'll have 5 ults here in a second, 6 in about 20 seconds, and you use 2 of your big ones on Paid to Win. So you've got to really, I would say econ push, but you don't have anything to spend anyway to try to take out some of these ults. But there's an early one from Shagadelic, maybe just trying to buy some time. I don't know if somebody was maybe coming out of spawn, but a sleep there from Hungary was enough to at least block some of the damage, but you know, that one pick will be enough to really just make them have to reset here, and already half the time gone.
Yeah, and like you say, that Bob was invested. That was actually to peel for the Monkey. Dragon Prince was in the left side room, and that Bob forces them away, segments them off from their team. That's brilliant usage from Shagadelic. Didn't end up in the kill, but it ended up with Hungary actually trying to desperately heal up that Winston. Ended up peeking main, getting taken down. And now we're going to see a potential engage as soon as that bubble comes online. Now it does. And actually that touch from the Echo peels Apollo back a little bit.
Yeah, they're going to have to reset here, but you're still pushing into 5 ultimates. I mean, you can spare Bob when you have 5 more in line here, so we'll see which order Apollo uses here.
Ooh, there's the Grav coming through, the Dragon Strike as well. This could be big, but the Immortality Field keeps a couple of folks alive there, as it's an off-tank for an off-tank, an eye for an eye, as that res comes through and makes sure it's still a 5 versus 5. but Gadrin in the backline peels for the Echo, and still the Orisa Sigma composition, it just stabilizes in those situations because you have the healing, you have the Amp Matrix, you have the Immortality Field. There's so much to utilize there in terms of healing and sustain.
They did. They used all of their ultimates, so they're not going to have tons. They'll get a Bob up here for what's probably going to be a last push. Unless there's an early pick off here, Paid to Win probably going to push in with enough time that they can lose a member or two and still push in. But they're going in when Dragon was so low already, and they still initiated.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was a misclick from Dragon or perhaps a mistiming. Maybe they took a lot of damage as they jumped. I have no idea, but the bubble investment there as well gets a couple of extra kills, and it's going to be really just a time scramble here, I think, for Paid to Win.
Yeah, they have enough time to still group up and push in. Maybe that was them just trying to bait out some ultimates and knowing they had time left. And really now there's going to be nothing unless there's a really prolonged fight, which is going to just benefit the attackers here with the close spawn. But yeah, okay, there's the Nano going in, and the Coach Gun not enough to take them off the top from the jump.
Yep, that's the kind of explosive dive you really want out of this composition. You get the Echo in there with the mines, the focusing beam, the nano boost onto the monkey to deal a cleave damage. And in OT, they do manage to cap up this point, and they'll get 3 minutes added to their clock, but that's still just way too much of a gap between the time banks to even make this, that good, I think, for them anymore.
Yeah, Paid to Win has to snowball here, and they're going to really only have a Dragon to do that. Going to be tough to snowball with that. They do have the Molten Core on the side of Apollo to deal with that dive when it comes in as well. So really just going to probably try to be a recon push, try to get some more ults, because you're not looking to win this here.
Yeah, it's going to be the Dragon Strike from the off angle here to cut through the point and actually segment off the Ashe. The Sigma goes down as well. What is going on here? The Molten Core coming through finally from Gadrin to try and peel and allow for some point presence. As they do manage to take down Dragon Prince, but it doesn't matter because Matrix is just here on the point, putting in the shots. There's a 3k from Matrix. And they're looking for a little bit more as well, looking to clean up on the Sigma, but the Ashe returns. Shagadelic says, you know what? I can do it better. Gets a 3k of their own and stabilizes things there for Apollo.
There it is, and now the ults will switch back around in their favor. They're going to have the Bob, they're going to have the Gravitic Flux. Not enough for the Tick, as close as it probably could have been. That was half a percentage, if that, away. But now we're going to see not making really any swaps on either side here. Mystic's still on the Wrecking Ball, swapping off, presumably for the stall, but they're just going to stick with it here, maybe to counter dive into the back to put some pressure onto Hungry. But Dragon has already taken a lot of pretty early damage. They already have both of their support ultimates, so they're looking pretty good here with a lot about to come in. Yeah,
exactly, and stay here, looking to build up this duplication. Could be big for this engagement, but the Lucio goes down early. Drenny does end up falling, so Matrix again trying to carry their way through this team fight, but there is the kill onto the Echo, denying that dive potential, and the Ashe does the cleanup.
It is, but now, if you're Paid to Win, you're okay with that. You have a minute left here. This is going to be your best time to push, and look at your ultimate bank. It's just going to be the rally that's going to be available just at the beginning of the fight here, so they have time for this. The duplicate probably onto that Sigma would be pretty big for them here. They're going to have that beat to try to sustain through. The Molten Core, okay, Molten Core is now available too, man. Putting in a lot of work there on that Torbjorn, but this is their time to do it. They're not going to have any better chances. One last push. If they can catch out Torbjorn early here, this would be huge.
But the Wrecking Ball comes in with a peel.
Oh, that was amazing.
From Mystic to make sure they can't get in there and do anything about that out of position Torbjorn. It will be the Primal Rage here from Dragon to try and channel the energy of Smurf. They do have that shock skin on after all, and it does seem to be working. They get the juggles through that allows them to juggle him into the Dragon Strike, and it will end up being the kills thick and fast here for Paid to Win. However, there were a couple of kills there for Apollo. Maybe they can come back. They're going to try and go the Bull Hog just at the end to try and get some of these nasty kills through. But still, with the break gone, it's not going to look too easy as Stay gets taken down. Hellboy as well. Oh my word. Apollo, they're coming back into this. All they have to do is deny that Tracer from touching. They kill off Matrix, and there's no chance Ian is touching this one. So, what a map there from Apollo. Almost getting the full hold, but then a brilliant second point hold.
Yeah, looking absolutely incredibly strong in the attack. I don't know how you push through a Doomfist, Roadhog, Reaper defense there on second point Anubis. That just sounds awful. Making the swaps when they needed. able to, really turn around compared to that control point. Definitely seeming to be on the front foot there. That dive looking so good from them, and that double shield also looking strong on the defense. So Apollo bringing things back around here, tying it up 1-1. So we definitely have a big second half ahead of us here, Toasty.
Yeah, absolutely. Apollo showing some signs of life after that Nepal, which didn't quite go their way. Perhaps just wasn't their map type, wasn't the architecture that they needed to work around, because Anubis was bloody brilliant for them. But we shall see if they can keep this going after the short break. Be back in a few minutes to bring you the second half of the series. All right, folks, welcome back to the second half of this EU Harmony tier game between Pay to Win and Apollo. We are at the half at 1-1, which is pretty darn close, honestly. We had a pretty one-sided Nepal map, which came out then to a very one-sided in the other direction, Anubis map. So it's been interesting so far, let's say.
Very interesting. Apollo definitely being the better of two on our second point map. Paid to Win looking very dominant on our control. And now we're getting ready to go into hybrid. I don't think I have to tell most people which map it's going to be. It's a hybrid map.
Yeah.
Probably good. It looks like we're going to Kings Row for it, which makes a lot of sense out of our teams here. That would have been the pick of Paid to Win, who ran that Rein Zarya on Village and looked very well. We could see a double ball. They'll be on defense to start with. Apollo will be on the attack. And there's a chance maybe we'll see them going with like a double shield defense. Apollo seemed to do very well in that composition.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen their brawl just yet.
Yeah, we saw it a little bit on Village, but it was too short of a map that you can't really tell, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
They played, I think it was Mei Cassidy, while the opposing team Pay to Win were playing the Mei Sim, which, it's a bit of an uneven matchup in favor of the Mei Sim because the amount of damage you can put through. So I want to see a full-on Mei Cassidy pure Rein Rush mirror. That's what I want to see here, because that is the absolute Kings Row classic. Whether we'll get it, probably not, because knowing one of these teams, they'll probably whip out something like an Orisa Sigma, like you say, or we've seen Owl teams run ball compositions here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Rush.
Yeah, my favorite one here was way back when you'd have the Widowmaker Hanzo double DPS on Kings Row on either the attack, sometimes in the defense too. We saw a little bit of Widowmaker pulled out from one of our teams here. But we'll see how the defense goes here from Paid to Win. Of course, I just feel like we're going to get a little bit of Mei out of this again. It seemed, if I remember, it was definitely Paid to Win that pulled out the Mei on that first point.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting to say at least if they didn't stick with it here. And all right, now that we have players unlocked, it seems like you at least have that wish on defense. Not going to comment on the attacking side yet. Going to give them a little more time to to work through things.
Yeah, I can tell you right now that this is not what they are going to play.
No.
Bastion and Hog in the same composition is just the most quick play thing ever. Like, this is the type of thing you'd see in, just some random community pugs. Genuinely. But the defense is playing the Mei Cast Rush, like we were saying. I reckon Apollo will probably play, the same thing. They'll probably pick out the Widowmaker, but then swap to the Mei Cast. Or Mei Hanzo, maybe.
Yeah, I could see the Mei Hanzo. Maybe they'll switch over to the... they say the DM out. Oh, it gets a little bit of a connection there. Matrix goes half health, but like I said, they're going to be swapping here. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Cass. Yeah, there's the Cassidy. But their team's already pushing in without them. Look how split they are.
Yeah, exactly. The wall comes through as well, splits them even further, and Pay to Win now going to have an opportunity to push up towards the statue corner and start playing as aggro as they can. Remember, they're playing into a Hanzo. They have to play fast. The more spam they endure, the worse it gets for them. And, well, I mean, it's already going pretty badly for them. 70% on the ultimate here for Gadrin, putting in so much damage. And really, that's why Apollo are playing so passive right now. It's because they're waiting for these kills to come through. Shagadelic catches Stay. You're going to get a Dragon Strike through the Amp Matrix. And it just seems like Pay to Win are getting torn apart right now.
Yeah, so kind of what looked like it happened there was on that initial wall that Stay had. They kind of... Actually, we still got a fight going on here. I'm going to break this down in a second.
No, feel free to break it down. It looks like it's over now.
Okay, yeah, there we go. That Deadeye from Shagadelic. They're going to end this one here. Goes through. But it seems like Stay and Jansen kind of pushed forward there. Wanted to capitalize off that early wall that they had where they split off the side of Pay to Win. And then Stay ended up getting caught out without their team on the side, and now having that Mei wall to help block off another team rush into was just negated. They had no one to block into anywhere because of how split up they were, and they were just able to crumble along the side there. Which I think was Shagadelic ended up getting the final pick there on the Stay. I mean, look at the DPS already back up to 64 and 50%. That is crazy on the side of Apollo. The ult charge is, oh my god.
Yeah, this is just... I mean, they just used a Dragon Strike. They've almost built up another one.
Just used the High Noon, too.
Yeah, I mean, coming into this team fight, they're just going to be looking to, again, play slow like they did before, play conservative, wait for the ultimates to come online, wait for that inevitable pick from Shagadelic or from Gadron. Or, alternatively, Mystic could go for an Earth Shatter here, and they catch all 5! That is nasty coming through from Mystic, and the Dragon Strike cleans it all up.
There it is. Only have using 2 ultimates there. They're going to have 3 left on this next fight. A pretty far forward fight win there too. Cart got just around the corner that we're definitely not going to see 2 contests. We're going to have one more contest here most likely for Paid to Win, but a good forward positioning here. They need to be careful. Stay could wall them off. If they're able to get 1 pick here, they should be able to pull through. Okay, there you go. Mystic's going to fall back here just a little bit. They'll have enough time to push in, and if Drini can get the beat off here and try to negate this Blizzard, they have a chance, but they already lost their Cassidy.
Yeah, what a kill coming through from Gadron. I saw that flick as well. The entire stream did, to be fair. As that's Yoshi taking down Dragon Prince, and Apollo just seem unstoppable right now with all the kills they are getting. Seems to be the DPS line as well, mostly in the kill feed. Shagadelic cleaning up on the kills that everyone else provides for them. And Gadron, well, I mean, it's just doing Gadron things, really.
Yeah, Gadron's been nuts. They're already back up here to their 3rd Dragon Strike, just about here. And they still have 4 minutes and 40 seconds to really push in. Quite a lot of time. Pushing into 5 ultimates, though. But 5 ultimates pushing right back. Whoever gets this first one off. Okay, the Shatter Bomb combo first.
Yeah, that bomb is gonna catch the Lucio of Drini, as there's a lot happening on the screen right now. The bomb appears to be coming through from Obese or Walrus. Doesn't actually catch anything, but does force the enemy Reinhardt back. Dragon Prince there. Shield probably went down pretty low from that, and now it gives an opportunity for Apollo to just utilize these angles perfectly, as Gadron takes out their opposing number of Matrix. Dragon Prince is going to try and get a kill through that out Matrix, but doesn't seem to be working out for them there, as Apollo want to try and potentially aggress with the High Noon, forcing everyone back around the corner. The Lucio could try and boop him off as a hero play right now, but it's not going to work there, as Shagadelic, with the 4K, manages to get the cap in the net for them. What a play coming through. The team kill to finish the round off.
Okay, the last 2 rounds combined, 10-minute time bank. Was that 6 minutes and like 10 seconds? And we had 3 minutes 48, just under 10 total minutes combined.
Yeah.
That is next level. That's so much time. Apollo seeming to be a whole totally different team after those control points there. Not even their map pick here, and already showing that they have a very good brawl comp. That Hanzo really working well there.
Yeah, I mean, it's Gadron in it, right? The mechanics are great.
Yeah.
The positioning, these kind of off angles they're taking as well, to make sure they can actually get these kills off without having to break the shield first. Like that's also a big thing of Hanzo play, is how you position yourself, how you take these crossfires. Shagadelic is there, putting in the damage from the front line, getting these dinks onto the enemy team, and Gadron is either there being a body shot bandit cleaning them up, or hitting headshots of their own. Absolutely amazing. Love to see the Hanzo play coming through, and Matrix going to start on the Widowmaker here, but I would imagine they'll go back to the Hanzo, because it's hard to play a Mei cast versus a Hanzo cast, but because the Mei just doesn't have enough damage for it, right?
Unless you're getting the walls off quickly and really being able to focus in, but especially we see the Zaryas on both sides as well, so I guess the Grav Dragons being weighed a little over here. So now, honestly, I feel like the Hanzo is going to have a lot of space here. No defense matrix to really eat a lot of these pot shots going back in. So going to have to be a pretty mobile backline. Can't be sticking around too much. Not going to find much there, Matrix. Going to swap, but they've already... Stay already goes down. Okay, Matrix on the Junkrat, actually. So you're going to have You're going to give a high charge Zarya on the other side, but, no D.Va to eat, so they can get a lot of burst in there. They could have a chance with this, but they're going to have to be careful.
Yeah, like you say, that is the crucial part here, is that there is no D.Va. Obese Walrus cannot eat these mines up, so Matrix might be giving charge over to the enemy Zarya, but in terms of the Reinhardt and the aggression they can take, there's not much to be had. I mean, Mystic is already just pushing backwards and backwards and backwards because Junkrat is putting in the spam, putting in the damage, and Stay, again, ends up falling. Shagadelic somehow potentially turning things around for their squad as they are going to look for a flank through Hotel to catch out the Zarya. Can they hit the finishing blow? Hit your shots, man. Oh my, Shagadelic cannot hit a single shot there onto the Zarya. That'll lead to Pay to Win getting these kills through, getting the cap. And yeah, I don't think... I think our observer was a bit rude to catch that on stream, to be fair.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. And they didn't lose their charge, even more important than that Zarya not dying. So they're going to be lapping Obese Walrus here, who's going to have to restart. Won't have tons of time with Matrix. As you can see, a lot of damage. He already has going to have that tire online to open up with here. They're going to have both tank ultimates. A very good place to be here for Paid to Win. I like this aggressive positioning they're holding too. I'm able to, you know, take this early fight. They're going to have ultimates to open up here, but Jansen just... Whew, Jansen can't go down, though.
Why are they fighting? The Cassidy's not back yet. Huh?
Oh,
Okay.
you're not gonna... Oh, I don't know what's happening. That's... Oh, it's gonna work, though. How's it gonna work?
What is going on? The Cassidy wasn't back. They go for an Ant Matrix 5-striker on the corner. The enemy Reinhardt pins into it and dies. And then they win the team fight off a Dragon Strike.
That one wasn't on my bingo card of how one was gonna turn out. So, I mean, they're gonna probably be able to have a Grav Dragon up here pretty soon, considering the damage they're putting in. And I mean, look at their ults they have available here too. If they're able to get a good beat here and negate that grab from Jansen, they have a good chance of holding this. And time bank wise, any fight they hold here is huge.
Oh, that shatter investment goes horribly wrong there for Mystic, as they're now going to get shattered with one of Dragon's own. However, it does end up coming up well here for Apollo, because they get the kills through it. I think they had the Immortality Field to survive that grab and allow them to get these kills through.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to use maybe like a defensive shatter there. Not really trying to follow up, but just negate what was happening. But didn't catch much there. Look at the geometry from the Grav. Kept them up on the payload. And there goes all the ultimates, basically. I mean, we have a couple of little ones here, but really recon mode. There's still 3 minutes and 20 seconds, so a lot of time for Paid to Win to turn things around. But if they can get an early pick here before things start going back up, this high ground position might be pretty nice for Matrix or Stay. There's no Diva to really deal with it. They'll have to depend on their DPS to deal. But okay, look, Apollo knowing the rotation, and they make it.
Yeah, but that's going to break the shield now, so Mystic in a bit of a rock and a hard play situation as Stay does end up getting traded out. I think it's 2-for-1 trade. It's actually a bit even because the Reinhardt has gone down here for Apollo and there's no shield to hide behind. That being said, though, Paid to Win going to get flanked on by Gadrin, taking down Matrix, and the Dragon Strike comes through there to make sure that, well, there's no chance of them winning this team fight unless they kill off the Baptiste. That's an opportunity now for Jansen and Dragon Prince to start going aggressive. But the Hanzo is still here, being problematic on the off angle, putting in the shots, and it's just buying a bunch of time.
It did, and they're already... Oh my god, they have Dragon Strike again! They just used it!
Just used it.
Oh, that's crazy. And they're going to be able to combo this on this late hold here. Both going to combo, so whoever gets this ult off, I mean, this combo off first should probably get the win. Hungry, though, going to take a lot of positioning back for their team. That group. Oh, and there it goes.
Dragon from both sides, actually crossing streams, it looks like here, but the High Noon comes up big there for Shagadelic. Another 4K. They're just racking them up 1x1 or 4x4 even, as that's a team kill. Sheesh, oh my. How does that Grav Dragon get nothing, though, for Paid to Win?
I know. It seemed like they at least caught a couple of members there. I'm guessing the Immortality ended up catching, and I just didn't catch it on the angle that I was looking at, but that has to be the only way they come through with that. It didn't look like the Dragons missed. I mean, everyone was so close together, you could have just sprayed in any direction and you would have hit someone.
Oh, what's that?
Oh.
Gadrin with the drop shot, making this look like a Rocket League out here, and now a Beast Walrus just putting in the damage, fully charged up and ready to get some extra kills. Build up that grab charge, but Gadrin says, you know what, give me those kills, they're mine. Oh my, they have been a nut this entire game through.
They sure have, and now it's last fight. They're not going to have, they're already going to switch. I think it's a good swap there to go over to the Diva. You're not going to be able to grab up quick enough. You're not going to get the energy. Might as well try to negate some of this Hanzo, who's really just been stepping through for their team. The flank shatter, it didn't end up working out.
It turns around. It turns around there for Mystic because they get the retaliation. They do end up falling for it, so it's a 1-for-1 Reinhardt trade. But still, Gadrin is there with the long-range spam, putting in the damage. Jansen gets demeched. And there's just no way now, I think, for Apollo to lose his team fight. They get all those kills through, the cleanup, and 20 seconds remaining, it'll probably be the Lucio that's a touch.
Yeah, they're not going to have tons of time. I mean, you can lose your Reinhardt there as long as you win the team fight, but they still haven't taken down a Beast Walrus. They've just been sitting high energy the whole time, so much damage coming through. Now, there is a chance for them here. They're going to have ultimates available, pretty much matched both ways here. If maybe they're able to get a good Dragon Strike here from Matrix to cut off the team, this is a good angle to be shooting it off of.
Good angle for a Dragon Strike too, but Matrix ends up falling to one of the oppositions instead. As that's a Beast Warriors, maybe going a bit too aggressive in the face of the Ant Matrix. Gadrin is here in the backline, actually forces everyone into the pub here. The Shagadelic holds that High Noon, gets nothing out of it, and instead Stay takes out Gadrin, deals with their shenanigans on the off angle. And I think now Pay to Win should be winning this team fight. No Hanzo to contend with, and they can just play hyper aggressive onto Mystic. But there's the Shadow coming through, doesn't actually get anything though. For Mystic, instead, it will be Dragon Prince to catch Mystic out with a Shadow of their own, taking him down. And I think this is a point B cap, pretty much guaranteed now.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, if I'm Apollo here, you know your time bank. I'm not throwing this Grav in yet. I'm going to save this and try to win on your next push. Yeah, it looks like they're not going to push in. You don't have energy yet. Maybe trying to get a little. Yeah, the Lucio not going to be able to touch on their side. So you're going to step back here. And really, I mean, you don't even have to stop them before they reach the end. A minute and a half. You need one team fight win here to guarantee the draw for the most part. If they're able to at least stop them once, which they should if they're able to just build up this Grav Dragon, or just even have a good Grav, maybe get a Shatter in off of it. Mystic could get a lot of cleave damage in. So that's really the name. That's the play here for Apollo now.
The play here as well is just letting Gadrin do their own thing up on the high ground, distracting Stay long enough to make them out of position, taken down by Shagadelic. And there's that team fight you were talking about. It brings it to below 60 seconds. It gives the defensive positioning now to Apollo.
And they've got the Shatter. They only end up using the Grav there. You saw how quick Mystic was able to build it back up. I think about one swing, giving them about 20 to 30 charge with that. Oh, I have never seen that. If they get a pick onto the Baptiste with that.
No,
they keep going back into their sightline for it.
Yeah, I'm going to start using that in my own games, although I do mostly play Mei, so it's not going to become too much useful, but yeah, that's a bomb into the back from Jansen, doesn't catch too much. Instead, the Dragon Strike going to come through. Gadrin absolutely destroying everyone in main because of it. Mystic shatters Stay down into the dirt. I don't think there's any opportunity now for Pay to win this one out. It will be, I believe, a Lucio up there on the high ground to try... Oh, no, a Tracer to try and touch this one. Matrix as well has the Pulse Bomb. If they can land this, it'll be the play of their life, but they get nothing out of it. They touch the point, but what more can they get done now here, Booth?
Probably not tons. They do get the... Okay, that's a pretty good kill onto the Lucio. That's a lot of their healing gone, and there you go. The tanks are able to push in now. No speed boost to help them disengage on the side of Apollo, and now they have the cart, but I mean, even if you're Apollo, I mean, you have another chance to go through. You've at least got a draw here so far. And losing Matrix, not able to build up towards that Pulse Bomb, which was going to be really big for them.
That's so important because Matrix is one of the players that can probably stall around the point more than anyone else right now. It'll come down to this Earth Shatter from a Dragon Prince. I'm looking at that right now. Because if they can land a big one, that is going to be it. They're waiting for the shield of the enemy team to go down, but it doesn't even need to happen as Mystic gets shattered down to the ground, taken out. Jansen does get demacked, but I think it's all but over here for Apollo in this round. Oh, my heart just skipped a million beats under one. But thank God Apollo stay alive in this. Wait, no way.
Almost.
They get the cap through. I was about to say Apollo stay alive because of that High Noon, but yeah, okay, Pay to Win, get the cap through. Apollo didn't touch in time. These teams are playing with my emotions right now, Booth.
Oh, I know. Well, now it's really coming down to how good of a defense you can do here as Pay to Win. And you saw how fast Apollo can be on this. I mean, you don't need to worry about the transition to second point here, which a lot of teams end up then sticking with that Rein Diva, I think, because they don't want to run in to that double shield on the defense on second. So, I think that might be some of their better bets. But no, they're going to stick with it so far. Let's see. Pulling out the Junkrat of Matrix there, who did do a really good job with that. But the difficult thing is I look at this comp and I go, you can come back and you can fight through this if you're Apollo. You got a lot of time to change things around. where like I feel like that double shield would just be harder to break, where now they can, you know, a Beast Walrus will see the Junkrat and probably just make the swap over to the D.Va, and then there you go. I mean, Matrix can still put in some work, but that surprise factor, really, it doesn't matter here now.
Yep. Matrix making it very obvious that they're up there at the spawn room, and they throw both mines there as well, so they're going to be missing one.
Okay, that's an odd way of doing it. I've never seen it that way.
Yeah, a bit interesting, but the critical thing here is, like you say, there might be the swap from a Beast Walrus onto the D.Va, although they have preferred the Zarya pretty infamously here. I think Matrix is good enough at the Junkrat to get something out of this. The difference, I think, here is that there is a Hanzo on the side of Apollo.
Yeah.
And knowing Gadrin, it's going to be a massacre.
One pick really ends this, too. So if they have so much higher here, no one besides Jansen can deal with it in this position already. It's going to be tough for them. They got to get a pick on this Rein quick.
Yeah, Jansen really needs to be up on this high ground contesting the Hanzo, but they almost have the Dragon Strike already. What is this? They're probably just going to off-angle and use it, if I'm honest. Shoot it through the statue, clear everyone off, and never mind. Okay, I just listed off everything they should do, and they did everything they shouldn't do, which is peek the Junkrat freely, and yeah, Matrix gets that kill through. Stabilizes just for now, with some ultimates now on the board for pay to win.
Yeah, the Tire's got to pick off someone in the backline here. Maybe if that can bait out the Immortality field, that will be up there from Yoshi. They're going to go from the high ground. I like this. Stay up top, make them come to you. They don't really have tons of high ground presence besides... Oh, that was an odd angle. Yeah.
Yeah, Gadrin hits those shots all day, every day. Well, speaking of shots, it's going to be that Earth Shatter coming in. A big shot there for the blue team, but oh my god! The retaliation from Mystic catches 4, and they are going to come back and win this team fight now, winning out the map and making it 2-1 with a team kill as well. I mean, you can't get more dominant than that for Apollo, and they are on match point.
Yeah, not at all. Definitely seeming like, although not their match pick, I'm sure they would have taken this here if they had the opportunity themselves. Pulling out the Hanzo looked really, really strong for them. I mean, the Rein v Rein here, I feel like our tanks are pretty well matched up on either side here. But really just came down to that Hanzo play we saw there from guard. They were doing fantastic. But I think really what really allowed them to do that was Shagadelic on the Cassidy throughout the whole time, was able to apply so much shield pressure that the Hanzo didn't need to keep being there, applying pressure onto the front line. They were able to take those little off angles, and you know, as much as our teams here have been liking to play Zarya on that brawl, I think they need to stick with the Divas, because you shouldn't be getting Dragon Strikes in 20-30 seconds like some of our DPS have been tonight, because that's just insane.
Yeah, I mean, the Zarya just does absolutely nothing in terms of contesting high grounds, in terms of eating up the spam that the Hanzos are putting through, specifically Gadrin. I mean, you know, these 20 to 30 second Dragon Strikes you're talking about, and it wasn't just a one-time thing either. You know, normally we'd bring up these kind of 20-30 second Dragon Strikes is like, oh cool, a one-time thing that happened, you know, cool, you can flex it on your friends for a couple weeks, be like, oh yeah, I built up a 20-second Dragon Strike. But like this was consistent. Gadrin was consistently doing this. It's literally something they have the right to flex about at this point, because it just keeps on happening. And I think Pay to Win need to do something about it, because sure, like you say, they are losing that shield break battle and that kind of stuff, even when playing the mirror, but like I think that just comes down to the fact that Dragon Prince has to play so passive with the Hanzo that like they aren't able to swing as much, they aren't able to put as much pressure onto Mystic as they would like to, and when they are able to do that, they're winning out the Rein duel, right? Dragon Prince has hit an ungodly amount of shatters onto Mystic, but the Immortality field is already there, or there's a Hanzo in the backline turning things around. Like, I don't know what more you want from your team at this point, Mystic, but honestly, being bailed out way too many times.
Yeah, they really have been. We'll see if they get caught out here. We do have a map pick from Paid to Win to take us over to Dorado. That was over Route 66 in Junkertown. So maybe picking this here to allow them to run a bit more of a dive on that attack. Of course, they're going to have Paid to Win defending again here. I think it's going to be a little harder for that Hanzo attack if they stick with it, which, I mean, considering how well they've done, you got to expect at least something close to that. To take that high ground away from Paid to Win, they're going to have to run that with probably a D.Va. But right now, the double bubble defense, I mean, I'm not in scrims anymore. I don't know how common that would be here. My first
decently
thought
common.
is,
So I scrim on an EU 2.8 team, so I can actually shed some light on this. Probably one of the more common things you see on Dorado is this Winston. The idea is that you kind of have your Zarya, your Ana. Usually you'd have a break here as well, pitched up on the high ground, and you just let your monkey go from that high ground he's at right now, jump down, up, and just build up then on a boost.
Okay, see, that makes sense then. And all the while trying to deal with that Dragon Prince, but then Matrix should be able to put in a lot of damage on the side. Yeah, there's that bubble trying to get in a bit. Yeah, they're not really bursting down. Not tons of burst really on Apollo to deal with that, right? I mean, they're only 471. They really just jump back up to Seem like to try to apply some pressure to Matrix.
Yep. And like you say, it is about soaking up that damage, but maybe not too much here as Dragon Prince gets discorded up and actually taken down by Yoshi. And that's why you don't put Yoshi's skills to the test, or Gadron's skills to the test, because they hit that direct onto Matrix, and Drini also gets that Glock onto Hellboy, taking him out, and yeah, I mean, what do you expect from Apollo at this point?
Exactly. Gadron's been just phenomenal the whole night. Being able to really shine here. Their team's doing a great job of bolstering them forward. And we'll have a barrage if there's a push through. It looks like, Shagadelic's in the backline putting pressure. So even if Pay to Win's able to regroup here, which looks like they are, they're going to be incredibly split. Look, only one, maybe, one up on cart. Two with the Tracer touching. But yeah, that's not going to be enough to hold this point.
And as much as I would love to say that this double bubble has opportunities to kind of hold a stable position up on the high ground and really deal with the Tracer, because you've got an Ana and a Zarya protecting each other, it just hasn't been happening, right? Shagadelic has gone completely rampant in the backline towards the tail end of this team fight, getting 3 kills, and the Pharah is going completely uncontested because there's no Cassidy on the board. I just don't like the Pharah Tracer here on the side of Pay to Win, because you need a Cassidy, you need a Brig, and you need to stabilize up on a high ground somewhere.
Yeah, they do have Jansen going over to the D.Va. I mean, D.Va, of course, being one of the best heroes on Second Point Dorado here to go up and contest that high ground. But I would have liked to have seen one of those other swaps you were just talking about there. Hungry, look how isolated Hungry is here on the right. I mean, even just Mystic going forward should be able to deal with that. And, that's going to be difficult for them to really get a lot of value back there.
Yep, Gatron embodying Jackson right now from EU Scrimbooks. Definitely doing a lot of work on the Pharah, taking out Hellboy and looking to hit some directs onto the enemy Pharah as well. They're discorded up, so it won't be too hard to kill them off, but managed to sneak their way away. But unfortunately, Dragon cannot quite escape the wrath of that pile drive. Absolutely slammed into the dirt by the Rat. And 5 minutes 30 on Dorado. How dominant do you want to go here, Apollo? Because this is already getting too much.
It's just, there's the direct two, looking for the second one. Oh, they haven't even been able to touch the payload since, the first turn, maybe, on point A?
Since they're still on point A, yeah.
Yeah, that's terrifying. And they're walking into 6 ults here. Oh, well, there's 5, because Shagadelic's going to throw one out. They're going over to the D.Va Hog, yeah, not trying to just maybe get a couple of picks or something. Stays over onto the Soldier now. Definitely, I think the Cassie's a little more popular. But there was the swap from Hellboy over to the Brigida, so they are listening a little bit, picking and choosing which parts they want to hear from you here, Toasty. But, I mean, the payload's already rounding the last corner.
Yeah, this is not the swaps I would have liked to see. The Roadhog here has basically no utility to deal with this Pharah. You're not dealing with a core issue of Gadron, as Matrix on 10 HP almost gets away with her life, but a Beast Walrus hits him with a Hypersphere to take them down. Now Gadron just putting in the extra damage, making sure they occupy the backline, and actually killing off the Soldier. The one thing that was meant to be their kryptonite ends up being the one they destroy, as Gadron with 3 kills towards the end here, and I don't think there's going to be a recontest. You can try and get the Soldier there with the legs, but I don't think you can be there in time.
No, you're going to get lifted right out of the way if you can get close to it. So not able to touch... 4 minutes there. Oh, okay, they're gonna get a little bit in. There's the hook, but I mean, you go down immediately as a Roadhog, and that's you don't see 600 HP go away that quickly there, especially with some of that sustain with the E. So, I mean, altogether we had, it was 5 minutes and 20 seconds when it went through there. So 14 minutes and a half on our 3 maps there on our last point pushes combined from Apollo. That's unheard of. That's just unheard of.
Switching sides.
I just don't understand what is going on here. How does Afara get this much value? I mean, like I said, this is giving me EU Scrimbooks vibes. They're a Pharah OTP team that loves to put their main carry player onto that Pharah or the Hanzo, which is very much what Gadron is doing right now.
Yeah.
And Matrix has been trying to match that, and I don't think that's the game you want to play here. You've seen what Gadron can do on their Hanzo. Now you've seen what they can do on the Pharah. I don't think a mirror is a play here. I think if you want to force out the bubble, at least play the Ana Brig, go with the Monkey Zarya instead of some Hog Diva bullcrap, and just play a proper double bubble. You know, take those high ground rotations. Make sure you're playing for those nano boosts. They weren't doing any of that. They weren't trying. They didn't even have Cassidy, right? You'd love to have a Cassidy there alongside your Ana Brig core to protect them, but they just played the Tracer and the Pharah.
Yeah, we'll see what they go with. I mean, they do have a target if they go for something double bubble here onto Yoshi if they can. But, I mean, I like Shagadelic's pick here with the Ashe. Going to be seeing them mirror close to how they did their defense a little bit on Anubis. Going to be able to boop off the high ground. You see where they're situated here. But, all right, a very interesting, maybe doing Sombra scouting, I think. You do see the Widowmaker. Oh, man, they almost got the shot off there. That was pretty close.
I was about to say trigger discipline, but, you know, this isn't Valorant. You can't wait on those shots because the Pharah gets away scot-free. Not going to get taken down by that Widowmaker in this scenario, so call it trigger discipline or call it trigger stupidity, but either way, it didn't hit the shot, so didn't quite matter. And Gadron now free to just spam in the damage onto the backline. Does get, I believe, body shotted by the Widowmaker there, yeah, but not quite enough to kill him off. Mystic, though, does get peeled for. That's why you play the Brig. And now there's a kill onto Gadron. Will get rezzed up, but this Widowmaker's free to just take the high ground, throw in some pot shots, and this is how you get it rolling for Pay to win. Unless Gadron stops the payload in his tracks here, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, well, I like Jansen there, too. Went forward and took that positioning and tried to contest that res. I wasn't able to get it off, but it was allowed Stay to push forward. You saw them getting the hack there on the side. They're being a little nuisance here in the back, but there still isn't anybody to deal with this. Now that the Widowmaker's gone, this is going to be free reign. You have to rely on Stay to peel back and deal with it. And Jansen not able to... Oh, Jansen wasn't looking to really apply pressure there to that Pharah. And now they're kind of back to square one here. They pushed it to a really difficult place. That's a tough one to come back in on. They're basically starting from scratch for the most part. And they don't really have any ultimates to do it with.
Yeah, the Echo swap here is good for Matrix. I like how there's some transition over to the typical Bull Diva Echo composition, except you're playing it on a Brig with it. I would love to see the Zen here maybe for the focus fire, but either way, Stay gets in the backline, takes down a Beast Walrus. The Zen is also quite a supple target to go for. However, Mystic does manage to trade onto Matrix, so getting rid of a main dive character, and actually... Stay goes down to Shagadelic somehow there. The Bob's going to be invested, and this really stabilizes things on the payload here for Apollo, despite those initial kills going in the favor of Pay to win.
That'll give Yoshi time to come back from spawn as well. If they need to use the mines from Mystic, they can. They're going to have their barrage looking pretty good. They have the EMP can negate quite a lot of this if Stay plays this right. That's their saving grace here. You got to look out for what Stay's going to do. The Nano Boost probably going to go in to sustain somebody here. Looks like they are sitting with Hellboy, waiting for the right opportunity. But if they're able to negate before and then quickly go in, they could pull this off.
Yeah, you make a critical point there as well. This Nano Boost is not for offensive prowess, because who are you going to put it on?
Yeah.
Maybe the Echo, maybe the Ball, but like, mostly the Brig, probably, to keep them alive, right, for the sustain. Stay managed to take down Gadron there, and actually, it's not in a resable location. The Mercy would love to go for that right now. They are Valking. They're going for the res in the backline? They get the res onto Gadron, and there's the Flux coming through. A Beast Walrus takes down Stay. And how on earth have Apollo turned that one around?
Wow. Well, I mean, the EMP caught two important targets there. They went for that EMP bomb combo to try to take out the pharmacy, but enough map geometry allowed them to hide. So as good as that EMP was of kind of stopping them in their tracks, they weren't able to really follow through. They went after the EMP targets there, where, you know, maybe you start pushing in 4v6 on the rest of Apollo. And they went for a target. They didn't get the Mercy, who really I think would have been the first person you would want to go for there. And then the Valk gave them enough time to come back in and get that up. So they do have the duplicate. Probably going to be looking to duplicate a Beast Walrus here. If I was if I had to put my money on it. But a lot of ultimates from Apollo to really deal with this. And last fight territory, 10 seconds, Toasty.
Yep, it's do or die, not just for the map, but the series here. So pay to win. They need to do something here. They need to get a play into the back line. They're going to duplicate the Sigma. That stabilizes them on Car a little bit. Allows them this payload presence that they've been so desperately lacking. And Shagadelic goes down. A very nice start there. As Matrix is desperately trying to build up the Flux. They won't get the slam down on this, I don't think. But the Transcendence comes through anyway to make sure it doesn't get too much value. But Gadron and Drini both go down, even in the face of the Transcendence. So somehow Pay to Win have cracked this one open. And it is not over for them just yet here, Booth.
No, not at all. And I like this composition that they have going into second. They have that stability on cart. They're going to have Stay, Hellboy, and Hungry kind of grouped up together. Jansen can contest the high ground there. With their Wrecking Ball, Matrix will put in a lot. So I like this comp. They're in a good position. And hey, very good pick there from Stay. That's going to delay a lot of the pressure if they can camp this res. Yeah, it looks like they're going to... But Stay's got to be careful. They're kind of out in the open. They're going to have to rely on Jansen to really protect them there. Yeah, there's a good job with the defense Matrix. But all right. I like this here for Paid to Win. I think they have the right comp. Already have some ultimates coming back. And I think Jansen's going to have to be the big play there for their team on this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Jansen needs to come up big with a bomb, needs to make sure they can deny the barrage as well as doing that. I think Gadron, if they're smart, they'll wait for the bomb to come through and then they will go for the barrage in the back line. A good boop onto Shagadelic there, but they coach gun back up onto the high ground and force away the Wrecking Ball just temporarily. It's all a positioning game though, because you can see how there's a surround coming through from the Echo and the Wrecking Ball potentially on the side of Pay to Win, but here you're going to see Gadron come in and take out the Brig potentially. Doesn't need to invest the barrage for that one, it's just a neutral kill, and without the Brig, I don't think you're going to want to engage onto this if you're Pay to Win.
No, and this is tough for them. As strong of the back threes they're going to have here, you can't just push forward with a McCree, Ana, and Brigitte there and expect to make it through all of this poke damage coming through. So Jansen and Matrix have to get this, or really Matrix needs to get an initial kill here for their team, because if not, this is what's going to happen. They're just going to get shelled from this high ground trying to come to point.
Yep, same situation again here where a support is forced into that side room, but Jansen with 2? How have they manufactured those kills? Wow. Especially considering they were demeched, I think? And they get killed off by the Mercy Glock, but it doesn't matter, because that will be the res coming through onto a Beast Walrus. So it's a 5 versus 5 now, I think, and those mines at least make it so Apollo have control of the car.
It is, and they just got the duplicate off Matrix now. Gonna try to get that Gravitic Flux up. Perfect time because Hellboy went down, so they just would have been a sitting duck in the air, to be honest. And the high noon from Stay catches one. There's Jansen with 2. They've stepped up for their team.
Jansen coming up big again. They found 2 kills earlier in the fight, and they got 2 here with the bomb. And now it's all about capping up at this point, but there is going to be an investment of the Gravitic Flux. That is very bold on to Stay, but it actually works out, and Jansen caught out in the middle of nowhere. They're probably going to get taken down by the Pharah here. Yeah, indeed they do. And here's the barrage coming through from Gadron. Can this put an end to Pay to Win? That is the question, as they Pay to Win still managed to catch 2. They catch Gadron as well. There's a key player gone. Roll through onto a Beast Walrus alongside the mines. Come through and get the cap. Pay to Win in the final hour, the 11th hour yet again, manage to keep themselves alive.
Oh, just an absolute nail-biter there. Not going to have tons of time. They need to be perfect on this defense, which they don't have tons of ultimates to be perfect with yet. We see Yoshi swapping over now to that Baptiste and off the Pharmacy now. We're going to have them on the Cassidy. Going to stick with the same tanks here. But I like Shagadelic sticking with the Ash. They're going to have the Bob to contest, and now Hungry is going to be looking for a target here for this nano boost. Now it's the question, do you invest at this fight or do you save it for next fight? But not tons of time left for them to be just contesting on cart. They got to make the pick or they got to die.
Yep. It's going to be Shagadelic going down up on the high ground. It's going to be a duplication onto the Cassidy here. I like it though, because you managed to take out the D.Va. They're going to get a high noon of everyone. The damage coming through, forcing the IMO. And now the ball can just run rampant in their back line. Will be a final high noon invested there from Matrix, but nothing really gained off that. And actually, Dynamite almost takes them down there, but not quite, as Apollo really starting to lose their groove, it seems, here towards the end. Yoshi goes down, can't stall this payload. You might get the Bob back in time, but I just don't see a way they managed to clutch this one up here, Booth.
No, I don't see them really doing that either. They're going to be able to contest here, but since we're on escort, the overtime not really mattering here.
The beat.
Oh, good beat drop.
kill.
That's going to contest a little longer.
Yeah, the kill! Oh my goodness, how have they managed to do that? Mystic swapping to the Ryan in the last moments. They get those kills through, they swing their way onto the cart, and that is about it here. Hellboy's all the way in the spawn room. Can't quite get that touch through, and Apollo taking the 3-1 victory, and they spun that one round right on its head, I can tell you that much.
Wow, it seems like they've done that a couple of times to us here now, where we've been like, oh, okay, there you go. Now Paid to Win will be able to push through, but fantastic job. I think that would have been Walrus on the Diva. I think just contested long enough to allow them to come back out there on the Lucio, get that beat drop available, which allowed them to push in. Oh, fantastic job there from Apollo. Deserving of the win tonight, showing that they're definitely they're here in Group A, both teams in Group A for a reason, but Apollo showing that they're a contender here as we get closer and closer to the playoffs. Very likely chance we'll see these two teams going head-to-head again once we reach the playoff level, so it might not be the last time we see this matchup, and I for sure would love to see it again. Paid to Win looked very strong there on that last point. I think they really came to their own there when they were running that Echo composition. With the Wrecking Ball Jansen doing fantastic job. But Apollo, wow, altogether, fantastic job from them.
Yeah. And, you know, Apollo, they were dominant throughout pretty much most of that. Of course, Nepal was a bit of an outlier, I think. They were just getting warmed up into things, but generally, I mean, as we just saw, you know, the map scores did seem pretty even up. We had a 1-2 on Assault, we had a 3-4 on Hybrid, a 2-3 on Escort, right? Very, very close. But that was mainly just because Paid to Win, every single time it seemed, whenever they were less than a minute, they would always come through in the 11th hour. They would get those, some random playthrough, whether it be a massive ultimate or just a neutral game coming through. They would always just clutch up at the last minute, keep things going, whereas Apollo just seemed more consistent. They seemed more dominant throughout the entire thing. They were the ones whittling the time banks down to how low it was. So, generally, great job from Apollo. Very nicely contested by Paid to Win, of course. Wasn't the most one-sided series ever. We have seen a good few 4-0s in Tranquility, like you said, in Stage 1 thus far, so very nice change of pace here, having a bit of a closer game, but really, Gadrin and Crew, rather, coming up big here, I think, aka Apollo.
Yeah, I would give them as my player of the match here as well. I think Shagadelic deserves a little nod in the direction to really allow them to kind of take those off angles as they did on the Hanzo, but at the end of the day, Gadrin definitely the standout player here in tonight's matchup. Definitely the standout player for Apollo there too. Just did a fantastic job.
Yeah, absolutely. But that will be wrapping things up for us today. Thank you all for coming along and watching, though. It's been an absolute blast. It's been a pleasure casting Apollo versus Paid to Win today. Two teams I didn't see prior to this. Maybe I'll start keeping my eye on as things start to develop. I've been Toasty. This has been Booth alongside me. Feel free to go look at our socials. And, of course, Alianos as well on the production, killing it as always. Thank you all for watching. We'll be seeing you later on tonight, I think, for the NA games. Yeah, see you later tonight.